Hello, this is Kay. What is up with you? This is the second episode of my life journey. Welcome to it. So, in my last video, I talked a bit about how I've been feeling totally lost in life, and I shared a bit about my struggles, the ups, the downs, and the times that I tried to fix my mindset in order to get back on track, and when I had to perform well in different aspects of life, when I had lots of responsibilities but I couldn't. And I also talked about my relationship messes too. So in today's video, I want to dive a little deeper into this mindset battle, I can say, that I've been having. And by mindset battle, I mean, how do you choose the right way of thinking as a person to grow? Do you feel what I mean? And I also gotta tell you about a friend of mine that just popped into my life out of nowhere. Honestly, it was all by accident. I'm gonna tell you the story. And started to flip some perspectives inside of me, and suddenly I saw that some changes in my thoughts and mindset are taking place, So let's get into it. Over the past year, I've been fighting this constant war with myself over what is right and what is wrong. I can describe it this way. It's like getting stuck in one spot where I'm being pulled by two different directions or two opposing forces, and having no idea what's the right move, which direction to go. Let me break it down this way. Imagine these two classic scenarios. There are only two mindsets that you could choose from. One mindset is all about positivity, and the other one is not so much. It's like choosing between right and wrong, or negative and positive, or God and evil, or however you want to name it. I think you got what I mean. On one side, it's like the world is telling you, if you want to get successful, you have to be ruthless, right? Like, we gotta be a selfish jerk, stepping on everyone to get ahead. Do you feel what I mean? And if we look at the people who are on top, a lot of examples, we can find that, did they get there only by being nice? This is the question that I've been asking myself. Think about it. I think you know the right answer, right? If we are honest, they pushed, they pulled, they walked on a few people, if not so many, to get what they wanted. They were selfish. They had that negative kind of a thing, kind of soul. But the question I keep asking myself is, do I want to be this person? Do I want to have this kind of a personality and mentality? Does that really match with my, energy, how I was brought up, or my personality, my nurture? So I still don't know how to answer that. And there is this other side of things, right? The world also tells you that to get successful, you have to have a positive mindset. You can do it through positivity, kindness, staying true to your values, setting strong and good boundaries and not passing over them. Overall being a constructive kind of a person. And also there's lots of examples of this type too, this kind of mindset. But come on, in the world that we are living in now, that only rewards the loud, the aggressive types, is there room for someone who wants to just grow and be just decent, I keep asking myself this question. And I sometimes ask myself if this match my personality and my energy, if I choose this kind of a mindset, am I gonna lose myself in the process of growth? When I see, those negative stuffs around me, will I give up to it? This kind of dilemma has been messing with my head all this damn year. So, Sar, the guy that has been helping me out lately, I met him totally by accident when I was on a trip with a couple of my friends to Istanbul. And I remember we were sitting in this cafe that a guy stepped in and sat next to us. I was into my head. I was minding my own business, but for some reason, a conversation just got struck up. What was that for? I don't even remember that. It was so random, but what I remember for good is we kept talking and talking. Like we talked for an hour or so. There were lots of things in common between us that made this connection so quickly. And even after I left that cafe, I remember I was excited about that accident. And after I returned to my city, when I got back to university, I remembered that guy and that conversation. We shared contact, but we stayed in touch so little. I hit him up for a couple of times on WhatsApp, and I understood that he's a very successful person in his life. Like not only in his career, but in different aspects. That is what I observed from his profile and his life setup. And that was very catching to me. Fast forward, Sar moves to Canada after a couple of months, and I observed he started a new life there, and I saw how he was leveling up his life, week by week, month by month, and his life even got way better there. And that was crazy to me. And I hit him up on WhatsApp again, talking about my struggles. I talked about them here. And he was a very generous person. We allotted some time on weekends to have some chit chats, but they were not so serious. But during those conversations, I realized that there were a couple of other people in the past that knew him, that asked for his advice and guidance, and they reached their potentials. And that was very surprising to me. I found, their profiles, and I asked about their situation. And I understood that one of them, for example, wanted to do well in business. He helped him to really grow. And I realized that that guy told me that he reached what he didn't even imagine. He didn't expect to reach those results. And the other guy wanted to do well in academic life, and he also had a stable life set up. He was making good money. He had his, good relationship, and he seemed very happy. And there were a couple of instances of other people that were doing in different things, doing well, and that was crazy. And guess what happened? I was a collection of failure in different aspects. So what clicked in my mind was, why don't I ask him to become my life coach? I was a bit of a stubborn and or like hard-headed person after all those failures. When I like listened to different life coaches on media, on YouTube, and here and there, but when I saw that he really had this, knack to push people in the right direction that they had to go, I was like, yeah, this can be different. Like, this is not some, some random life coach you find on internet spitting out some generic life advice. Do this and do that and wake up at this time, have this diet, treat girls like this, treat boys like that, and then you will be all good. And, well, yeah. I felt that it's really gonna be tailored to me. So I desperately asked him to become my life coach. He didn't accept that right on my question, but under some conditions he accepted that, but I'm gonna talk about them in the next part. The first thing he said was to stop comparing myself and my own path to grow to how other people got successful and their ways. He said there is so much negativity out there, but just as much, or even maybe more, fake positivity. Do you feel what I mean by that? I mean, what we hear a lot out there in media, in books, it's like they only tell you you lack or miss this one single thing, and if you overcome this, or if you pass this thing, you will be all fine. Your life will magically suddenly change by doing this and adding this in your life. And they advise you to do things that is so surface level that even doesn't touch the real issues, those inside and mental struggles that you have within yourself. So that was very touching, and also he reminded me that just because the world seems crazy around these times, that doesn't mean that there is no structure. And just because it seems that it's being run by negative people, or just because so many negative people are on top, that doesn't mean there is no rules or no frame. He said, if you believe in God, that's okay, but even if not, anyways, the world has some order. And yeah, that was very catching. Think about it. Basically, he told me to destroy my old self and mindset. And I have to create a new one from the ground up, the ground zero. His advice is so simple, right? But it's so heavy. Like, I could feel the weight of each one of his words on my shoulders. But on the other side, I felt like I exactly heard what I had to hear. And yeah, he said, just stop worrying why the world is behaving like that and get out of that. There's lots of other things that you need to fix right now, and when you get a bit more stable in some aspects, like financially, communication-wise, and relationship-wise, and education-wise, and different things, your work, your learning, then there is time for tackling bigger questions. And it is none of your business how world is being run. This is exactly what he said. And yeah, that was damn right. By accepting him as my life coach, he said he will bring all my weaknesses, all my blind spots, and all those real issues right in front of my face. And that's tough as hell. He said the first year is going to be the hardest one, as I'm going to face a lot of basic changes inside of me, and that may hurt. And he said his method is going to be fixing me mostly not only by talking, but mostly by acting or doing things. And it's not yet clear to me. I most probably should be some practices or exercises that I need to do. But anyways, he gave me the choice, either to accept everything right at the beginning and know it's going to be hard if I'm in, or not waste his time. If you guess how I was in the meeting, I was just freezed up looking at him. And I said, okay, what's the first goal? Like, what should I do? Make it a bit more sensible or clear to me. He said the first goal is to calm down your mind. And I was like, what the heck is that? My mind is good. My mind is okay. What do you mean? He said, no, it's not. It's not at all. With this amount of unnecessary and unrelated concerns and questions and, bullshit that is going on in your head, is it calm? He said, if you want to make the right decision and truly understand what is right and wrong, first you need to have a very silent mind. He said, only when you quiet that noise inside of your head, that's when you can see the world clearly and perform well in all the aspects of your life. And that's way easier said than done. I could feel that. And if you ask me how I was in that moment, I was like stone cold. Why? Because he was kinda damn right. I couldn't disagree with him. Yeah, he told me that that's the foundation of everything else, and not to ask him how long it will take or more questions right now, because it depends on how much I will practice the things that he says. And yeah, I asked him like, okay, what is the compensation for this? Like, should I pay you to become my life coach, or should I pay you in the end if I got results? Like, tell me about that. He said, no, nothing, and it's gonna be tough enough, and I don't expect you to pay me, and I don't need that. You need to accept only one thing. You should pay me in this way. I asked, what is that? He said, you have to accept to become a slave to yourself. You have to accept the slavery. This time, not to your urges, not to other people around you, not to things that happen in your life and affect you. This time, to your logic. I didn't like the word slavery, but I could understand what he means. Anyways, we already scheduled a meeting this Sunday, today's Saturday, for tomorrow. And I have to decide if I'm in or out tomorrow. And I've been thinking about this dilemma all the past week. And, I told myself let's let it go, not put myself in trouble, and let's go on with my life the way it is. But on the other side, I said, I'm already screwed. I have nothing to lose, so why not give it a shot? I mean, maybe this one is different. So, for now, I don't know how the things will play out, but I will keep you posted in the next video.